she does have this kind of continued bravery and courage and determination to not just let things slide, to not let herself be anesthetized and live a humdrum life. She is determined to make her life meaningful. And I really admire her determination in not letting that dream go.
This is lovely, honestly. I'm very excited today to be speaking with Polly Findlay, the director of Midwinter Break. Polly, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate this.
Not at all. It's really nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. This is Midwinter Break is a beautiful film. It
No,
is.
thank you.
It really is. It's funny. It's heartfelt. It feels very honest. It's a beautiful piece. Where did it come from? How did you get involved?
Well, actually, it was a book that Film 4 and the producer Guy Healy had picked up a good while before I came on board. And they had been developing it for quite a long time and had written at least two drafts. So at the point at which I came on, it was sort of relatively fully formed, I guess, as a piece of material. And then I came on board and did a bit of work with um, Nick Payne, who was doing that version of the script to bring it to production draft and brought on the actors.
Well, I absolutely fell in love with them, and I mean Leslie and Ciarán are just wonderful together. They just have such wonderful rapport.
Oh, I'm so glad
Um,
you think so. Yeah, me too.
yeah, why were they your Stella and your Gerry?
Well, I mean, I guess one of the things about the film, and I think one of the challenges, of course, in terms of bringing it from a book to a film, is that part of the reason why the book is so great is that it's so clear and so articulate about the internal weather systems of these two different characters. And I was really aware going into it that in order for it to be compelling, we were going to have two actors who were kind of completely emotionally transparent and where you could see the full depth of the emotional iceberg, because lots of stuff wasn't going to be spoken and was going to have to be left to us, being able to decode them and their inner emotional narratives. And so I think, in a way, yeah, well, Leslie was the first person that I thought of when I read the script, and she's been a friend of mine from I work as a theatre director usually, or that's what I have been doing, and so we've known each other for a long time through the theatre. And she had always said to me, whenever you make your first film, I'll do it with you. And it felt like one of those lovely things that your friend might say, and then she actually turned up and did it. So that was sort of totally great. And then Ciarán, I mean, who else would you ask to play that part except Ciarán, you know? I actually think he had got a copy of the book in advance and had said to his agent when it was published, you know what, if this is ever made into a film, I want to play that part. Um, and I'm so glad he did.
Yeah, he is wonderful. They both are wonderful. And like that you said that there are so many things that are said without words in this film that
Yeah,
communicate so much. I wondered from you, like you mentioned too, this is your first film. I know you've done a lot of theater,
yeah.
incredible theater. Was this a different challenge for you for thinking cinematically, or did it just fall naturally?
Well, I guess in some ways, because of the nature of the project, it was quite a good kind of bridging thing from theatre to film because it was so performance centric. It's really just a series of two-handers. And actually, as it happened, both Leslie and Ciarán have this background in theatre. So our vocabulary was very much shared and our sense of approaching um, how to build a character. I feel like we were very much all on the same page as far as that was concerned. But of course, trying to find a way of telling a story that has that number of locations that has that kind of toolkit in terms of being able to tell a story visually was a different thing to get my head around. And I guess also more specifically in the theatre, I suppose what you're trying to do is to build an architecture for repeats. So you're trying to build a kind of system that the actors can fall back on in order to be able to do the same thing night after night after night. Whereas filming, you're trying to sort of create the right conditions to capture a moment. And that did feel like a different thing, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. There's, like you said, this is very performative. It is the two This is not a Marvel film. The greatest connection is between the two of them together, and there's something
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it had
Um,
a real simplicity to it. Like I guess we kind of knew that that was the film, and that was my job really, was to work with those two to produce those performances. And yeah, we had a great time doing it.
hmm. I was wondering, in your mind, what do you think that Stella and Gerry are looking for as they set out on their holiday? What's the drive behind it?
Well, I think they're looking for very different things. So I think that um, Stella is looking for a moment of reckoning, and that I think she hopes that in some way this holiday will provide that. And I don't think she knows exactly how at the point at which she buys the tickets, but I think she's possessed by a strong sense of time running out and needing to um, shake the snow globe to make a change. And I think Jerry, in his own way, also has a sense of the undertow, knows that something's not right, um, without making sort of terrible generalizations about the way that men deal with things versus the way that women deal with things. I think I can recognize in him something that I can see in some of my older male relatives about kind of going, it's better just to not look at the thing. So I think for him, the holiday feels like a surprise plus. Like I don't think he is in any way seeing that as something that might contain a surprise in the way that it does. So I think he's going into it thinking, oh, maybe I was wrong and actually things are fine. And she's going into it thinking, this is the moment where I'm going to have to do something to change the game.
Yeah, their journeys are so fascinating together. They feel like they're on the same journey and yet completely opposite directions at the same time in moments. It's
Uh,
really interesting. They seem caught between that moment of self-reflection and looking forward. There's so many tensions going on. But I wanted to ask you specifically about one thing that I believe it's Stella that says. She says that I want to live a more valuable life.
yeah.
And I would love to hear what that means to you and what you think it means to her.
Well, I guess I think on some level we can all identify with that. And I think that she's reached a point in her life where she's very aware of time running out and of, you could phrase it any kind of way. Not having met her debt is the way that she would phrase it, but somebody else might say not having realized her potential. And I think that she feels that she's got one last roll of the dice in order to be able to make her life feel worthwhile. And that is sobering, you know. I mean, it's that's not a necessarily like a feel good thing to make a movie about, but I do think that that is something that we all have moments of feeling, and that what is uplifting in the film, I hope, is that even though it's hard, she does have this kind of continued bravery and courage and determination to not just let things slide, to not let herself be anesthetized and live a humdrum life. She is determined to make her life meaningful. And I really admire her determination in not letting that dream go.
Yeah, she absolutely is moving into a new direction.
Ah,
Um, while not well, it's a fascinating tension because you do, she wants to find new life, but she doesn't want to abandon the old one at the same time. It's not that sort of film. You know what I mean? It's how do we find life in that tension?
absolutely. And that within the context of a marriage that has gone on that long and which does mean so much to her and in which she still does love her husband very much, there really isn't an easy choice.
Yeah,
And again, I think that's something that we all recognize as we get older is that nobody's quite a free agent anymore. So the thing that would have felt like a one kind of choice when you were 21 brings a whole different stack of complications with it when you're in your late 60s. And I guess that in a way the film is about that as a moral dilemma as much as it is about anything else.
absolutely. Honestly, Polly, the film is beautiful.
Thank you
And
so much. I'm so
it
glad you liked
really
it.
truly is. And their performances are wonderful. I was drawn in so much. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
your time. I really do appreciate it.
So nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
It's nice to meet you too. Nice to meet you too. Have a
Bye.
great day. Thank you.
Thank you. You too. Bye.